Hey, Howard here from 82 Maple, and it looks like spring has sprung, and you know what happens in spring? It's time for, what else? Spring cleanup. Yeah, and I'm not talking about the log pile that's over my shoulder. That is going to be part of the cleanup in that we're going to transform that into some fencing and a whole lot of other things, including a greenhouse, a small starter greenhouse, not too big. But that's a subject for another day. Back to the spring cleanup. Hey, you know what? It's time to do some tidy up on some of the equipment, and we're going to be using it pretty extensively this year. So, hey, let's start over here with the bucket for the 4066. We end up shunting some of our trailers around, usually empty, but it sure would be handy to have the ball, a trailer ball on there. So throwing a 2 5/16 trailer ball in there. Then the number of times that I go to hook up a chain to the mini excavator, and there just isn't a great place to hook it. And so gonna do some welding, get that welded on there. A little hook for some what would it be? 7/16 chain, I think, is what I've got. Bigger than 3/8 anyway. And likewise, going to throw a couple of hooks onto the 1025 bucket here. And in addition to that, you can see that I've bent the lip of this bucket pretty badly, just generally abusing it, doing things that I shouldn't have been doing with it in terms of tugging on trailers. And so getting a 34-inch by 4-inch wide piece of 1/2-inch metal, and going to weld it along the top there, then reinsert the trailer balls. I've got a 2, a 2 and an 1/8, and I think that's it anyway. And definitely the 2 5/16 goes back in the middle. So then I use the little counterweight a fair amount when handling logs. It's just I don't have to worry about the swing of a blade. And so with that on the back, again, I find I'm often searching for a place to hook up a chain. So going to toss that on there. And then we've got some fairly significant tidy up to do over here. More on that in just a couple of minutes. Suffice it to say, I'm a little disappointed in this Frontier blade. Okay, truth be told, I'm a lot disappointed. Let's get into that. Okay, so let's talk about this. The welder has come and gone, and here we have it. So, again, the problem is this upper plate just folds down due to pressure on the front edge of the blade here. It just takes and pushes that back, and you can see here, this is just a great little truss and gusset arrangement. Everything about it means that's not going to bend. It's not going anywhere. So the welder went and cut this slot in here, replacing those bolt holes. We talked about that. Threw a bolt in there. There we have it. And then threw some gussets on here, one on each side. And rather than heat this very low-grade steel here, just so disappointed in that, and take any remaining temper completely out of it, he put a piece of metal in here and then put a gusset under here that wraps all the way around. Not pretty, but hey, it'll give me a lot more strength than we had previously. And you know, I can't say enough about Frontier tough equipment, and that's what made that blade such a disappointment. These forks here, they have been used and abused on everything. I had a 1026, then a 1025, lifting right at the limit, then moved them over here to the 4066. I know they're rated for much 50% more than the lift capacity of this particular loader, but just not a hint of any trouble. And the buckets, just no issue with those. have a great little Frontier snowblower that I just continue to brag about. Can run that thing right into almost an ice block, and it just keeps blowing snow. Nothing gives on that thing. In any negative sense. And then back here, I've got the land plane. Done far more work with that land plane than I ever contemplated doing with the blade. That blade, it would be lucky if it has, well, I would be exaggerating on the high side if I say that that blade has done more than 20 hours of snow plowing and maybe 2 hours of moving gravel, and just having a tough time keeping it hanging together. These bolts here, we can never get them quite tight enough to hold the blade in position. They're under spec. Anyway, moving on from the blade, we go around to a contrasting blade here, this little box blade. There we have it, BB 2048 48-inch box blade. Literally been pulled stumps out with that thing. Just no issues. All the welds, all the bolts, exactly spec'd the way they should be. So there we have it. And hey, while we're talking about the welder, here's the little bucket for the 1025. And viewers of this channel will have seen how this lip was bent way down from pulling way too much weight on a trailer ball I had on there. Had him do some work, put some flat bar in there, and drill the holes for the 3 trailer ball sizes that I use. Then oh yeah, Reese is inspecting this job here. Threw a couple of trailer balls on this one, 2-inch and a 2 5/16. And what else did we do? I love this counterweight. You know, having an implement on the back for counterweight is wonderful, but when working in tight quarters, there's nothing like this little box filled with sand. Sometimes I need to give something a little tug, so we threw the chain attachment on there, and did the same over here on the Mini X bucket. And I forgot to mention, we put the chain hooks on both corners of the 1025 bucket. I was tempted to throw a couple onto the 4066 bucket, but it has these, which are pretty substantial, and if I need to throw a chain on, I can just throw it through there. So that's the first welding I've had done on the equipment in, oh, I guess we got the first 1026 back in something like 2012, yeah. And so, hey, that's not bad if we get the welder out once every 12 years to do a little work. 2 thumbs up, and hope all is well at your end.
Like and subscribe.